Hey, my babies. How y'all doing? It's Queen Amina. It is Saturday, October 1st. And in 20 days, nope, I'm sorry, in 9 days, my oldest daughter will be 20 years old. So, I want to say I'm excited. I'm very, very excited. I will officially have a 20-year-old. Oh my God. But yes, in exactly 9 days since today is Saturday, October 1st, my oldest baby will be, she'll be 20. So I'm excited about that. But at the same time, my heart is heavy today because I want to bring y'all a story about a person who didn't get to make it to 20. This young black brother didn't even get a chance to make it to 15. And I'm bringing you guys this story today because of the fact that he is newly been exonerated from the murders that they actually executed him when he was 14. And I don't know how many of you people know about Steny, but this was going on in South Carolina years and years ago. And again, I told you guys, when I talk about things in my blogs, when I find the actual information to provide to you so that you can see the facts for yourself, I do so. So I'm going to play another video. I know I played a video yesterday instead of talking to you guys, but right now I'm about bringing you guys facts. So I want you guys to watch, listen, and that have been going on, are still currently going on, and the fact of why we are fighting to fix it. So pay attention.
That he did not do any of those things, and just yesterday he was exonerated. Finally, the state of South Carolina said he didn't do it. We should not have convicted him. But they didn't just convict him, they executed him. Now, I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, about how that happened, because it's important that you know what happened in this country and the remnants of that culture and that history. So first, let's show you George. You got to understand the context here. He was just 90 pounds. He was 5'2". He was 14 years old. They claim that he killed those girls and threw them in a ditch, and that he had the capability of doing this. Now, did they have any evidence on him? Well, they had 3 cops who said he did it and said that he confessed to it. Did they have any witnesses? No. Did they have any physical evidence? No. Did the cops write down the confession at the time? No. Were there any blacks on the jury in South Carolina back in 1944? No. They had a law at the time that said you had to be a voter to be on a jury. But blacks weren't allowed to vote, so they weren't allowed to be on juries. In fact, almost no one there was black at all in the courtroom. 81 days after he was arrested and charged with this, they brought him to trial. The trial lasted about 2.5 hours, during which his white defense attorney, who had not worked a criminal case before and who was going to be running for political office and needed votes in that area, did not present a single defense witness outside of Steny. He didn't even cross-examine the police. Steny says that he never confessed. Well, now we know he didn't do the crime. The police bring no evidence except they say, yeah, trust us, he confessed earlier. No cross-examination. The trial lasted 2.5 hours. The jury took 10 minutes to convict him. And then he was led to death row in Clarendon County, South Carolina. We actually have a picture of him being led to death row. Let me show you that. He was carrying a Bible. By the way, just if you're not absolutely clear yet that he didn't do it, historian in 2004 took this case on and investigated it further and found out that there was a wealthy white family in the area who said that the real culprit did a deathbed confession and said that he had killed the 2 young girls. And a member of that family was part of the process that picked Steny as the real culprit. It's impossible to know now, looking back 70 years, who knew and didn't know what exactly happened. Really, they were sure that this 14-year-old had done it, this 90-pound 14-year-old. Did they care that someone else had done it and was going to get away with the murders? They didn't care. They strapped him into Old Sparky. That's literally what the electric chair in South Carolina was called. And then, just as the story is horrible, it's about to get worse. Since he was so young, they couldn't strap him in right. They took the Bible he was carrying and made him use it as a booster seat. And then Joy James, an author, writes, the mask covering his face slipped off because the mask didn't fit. It was an adult's mask, revealing his wide open, tearful eyes and saliva coming from his mouth. The first jolt had not worked. After 2 more jolts of electricity, the boy was dead. His family was not at the execution. His family was not at the trial. Why? Because they told the family, if you don't leave town immediately, we're going to lynch you all. You want to talk about terror? We talk about terrorism today in America. This was true terror. And they weren't there for their 14-year-old boy. The Associated Press says the rest of the family didn't see the teen again until his funeral, when Stinney's body, burned from the electric chair, was put in an open casket. South Carolina has executed 289 people in the 20th century, and 82% of them were black, according to the Death Penalty Information Center. This legacy is not just about George Stinney and what was done to him. Now, finally, the state of South Carolina says they were wrong. He didn't do it. That legacy continues to this day.
To this day.
Do you know that there were 7 death penalty exonerations, not in 1944, today, in the year 2014? 7 people who were set to be executed, and it turned out they didn't do it. Let me show you the pictures of those 7 folks. Yep, 6 out of the 7 just happened to be African American. History rains down on us through the generations. This is not over. In fact, for those guys who were on death row, it took on average 30 years to clear their names. 30 years they sat on death row when they were perfectly innocent.
Innocent.
George Stinney was also perfectly innocent, but they needed a scapegoat. And in this country, especially in the South, when they needed a scapegoat, you always knew where they were going to turn. Doesn't mean things haven't gotten better, but we're certainly not at the end of that process. And work together.
Now, you guys want to know why I showed this to you? You guys want to know why the Queen took the time to look this information up for you? I took the time to look this up because I constantly tell you guys that the injustice starting from our babies to our elders is very real. And people keep saying, and trust me, they're coming at me every day. People keep saying, you're talking, you don't have no facts, you don't know. I do know, because I research. I spent today in the library. That's what I do. That's what my children do. We love the library. We love to learn. And I want my children to understand, just because they took social studies out of school does not mean that these things did not take place. They don't want to teach about it anymore because they want us to forget. But I will sternly make a point to teach you, because we all need to know what goes on, has been going on, and truly needs to change. It is not about officers killing black people. No. It's about the injustice coming down from the system that is allowing officers to kill who they want to kill, whether you're black, white, or indifferent. There was a 6-year-old little white boy that was just murdered by police because his father was pulled over. So it's not about color for me. It's about humanity and the fact that we are all supposed to be equal. But we all see that we're not. So I'm begging you from every ounce of my being. We all need to stand together and stand strong. And we honestly need to dismember what we consider a constitutional system, because those bigots have been in situations, they have been in these office seats since it was legal to kill black people. Stinney was 1945. I was born in 1979. Hello? There was a picture that I posted of a man who was strapped to a tree by KKK in 1975 and killed, lynched, castrated, burned. 1975? How many of you people can say that you were born before that? I was born 4 years after that. So thank God they didn't get to my little chocolate cell. But I'm telling you, we need we need to be stronger as human beings. We need to get rid of the hate. We need to get rid of the violence. And we need to stand together and learn to love one another. And again, I said, I'm showing you this because Stinney didn't even make it to 15. My oldest will be 20 in 9 days. And I'm praying that my sweetheart makes it to everything that she wants to be. And I'm praying that so do your children. Every one of you, no matter what color you are. Please stop teaching hate. Please stop promoting death and violence. Go to the library. Pick up a book. Google something. Build your mind. Because when you build your mind, you build your spirit, you build your heart, you build your soul. Now, again, I keep telling y'all, I'm not the end all be all, but God gave me a purpose and a reason. And believe you me, I'm going to step and fill those shoes that he put on my feet. Thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for the wonderful feedback. Last night, LinkedIn, you guys did the most. You guys, I appreciated all your feedback. I thank you. I really appreciate it because you guys know it's not about your color. It's about your heart. And it's about your mind. And it's about time we all start using them together as a whole, as a team, together. Okay? Now, again, it's Saturday and I was watching the movie with my babies and we was actually, like I said, we were at the library earlier, so we was going to read some stuff together and do what we do. But I love you guys to death. And I thank you for supporting me. And I thank you for learning with me. And I thank you for taking this journey with me. I really do. Take care of your children. Take care of each other. Do what you got to do. This has been the Queen. Have a wonderful weekend. Deuces. Appreciate you all. And remember something. Knowledge is power. Not the almighty dollar. Knowledge is power. Be careful, you guys. It's crazy out there.